Okay. All right. So the recording started. Welcome to the TRC Q&A Mastermind call for Friday the 24th of March. Real quick, I want to do, because Camellia has told me this is what I need to do, and I always listen to my wife, I'm going to do a quick review. So talking about 2.1 right now, not 2.0. 2.0, we're much farther along, but in 2.1, you guys all got the welcome stuff already. Last week we did big picture overview, which again is important to review if you have not, or look at a few times, because it just sort of lays out everything, gives you a sense of how everything integrates and the overall strategy. Charity partnering, that was the big work for this past week, and hopefully you guys have got things in place regarding your charity, or at least you're working towards that. If not, if you got questions, absolutely, let's talk about that today. The tax day campaign you got, and we can talk about that as well if you've got any questions. We can talk about anything. So, of course, marketing KPI tracking worksheets and the recommended resources, which have been updated this week, just added a few more resources in there, and we'll probably do that on an ongoing basis going forward. So this morning we released the signage SOP, which I, again, just want to encourage everybody to get on that and really take it seriously. I know signage isn't particularly sexy, but it can have a really dramatic impact when you do it right and do it consistently and make it a big part of your business, because it's one of the ways that you reinforce that culture, you know, that you are like Cheers, you know, speaking of Massachusetts, that you are, you know, that place where everybody knows your name kind of thing. It has that feeling to it when you do signage right, the Wall of Fame, Wall of Honor type thing, and that's what we talked about. And of course, there's more to it. There's some direct referral signage things. Facebook check-in SOP, everybody's looking forward to that. That's now released with all the tools, a lot of stuff in there. The Facebook one post today, just to reinforce that you should be, you know, on social media consistently, and giving you some ideas about things to do when you're on social media, best practices and such. And the storytelling, training, and swipe file, which is a big, big deal. Don't want you to get too bogged down in that, but because there's a lot of content, and Aaron's done a fantastic job of teaching it, and it really is a very high value bonus. It's not just something that we say. That's something, you know, you look around, you'll see. That's a $500+ bonus right there. But it is very important that you engage with the storytelling, because as we move forward, that's something that we want to incorporate more and more. And then next week, we got the Fertile Ground sequence coming up, the client reactivation campaign, and then the 2 lead magnets plus autoresponder sequences. Want to do a little bit, you know, get you guys started with some lead generation if you're not already doing it, or just to supplement what you are doing. With those lead magnets, and then of course the Fertile Ground, which is just relationship building, communications year list, and client reactivation, which is a great way to, you know, generate some revenue quickly, and something that should be done on a fairly consistent basis. You know, 3 to 4 times, let's say 2 to 4 times a year, just depending on what your marketing schedule looks like. Okay, so that's it for the update, or whatever it is, the review, and what's coming next. So let's just jump right in. Anybody got any questions right off the bat? If not, we'll go around the horn. But anybody got anything immediately? No. Okay. All right. Fine. Vern, then we're going to start with you. Any issues? Any problems? Anything? If not, just give us a sort of an update on where you're at.
No, I don't have any issues at this point. We're working on it right now. Now, our Facebook is pretty good. We are pushing 3,000 likes at this point. Awesome. We do about 6 to 10 posts a day, so we're on that pretty good, and we do a lot with all the members. We do we do a VIP of the week, which is our Wall of Fame. So we've been doing that for probably 4 years now. So every year we'll have 52 new clients up there that we tell about, and it's just inspiring to them. It also inspires new people when they come walking through, so we can always show off that wall. Then at the end of that, we'll put all those into a thumbnail and put that on the side of the wall, and then start the wall again. So we've developed quite a few of those. We also do a 100-pound club. So whenever we have somebody that's lost over 100 pounds, we'll do a whole nother wall on that one. And that's turned out pretty good. We've only got Well, there's probably about 16 of them on there, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot for over 100 pounds. So that's a pretty good wall. But our Facebook is doing really well. But one thing that we don't do is check-ins. So I'm really interested in this, in check-ins and taking off with this whole program. So I think it'll work really well because we've got so many friends on Facebook.
And how many clients, active clients, do you have, Vern?
Right now we've got 148 active clients. Members, we've got about we're about 2,000 members.
Yeah, because you've got that mixed use facility, right?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful because the Facebook check-ins could really pop for you, particularly if you can get the members engaged in that too.
Yes.
And with the charity component, there's a good reason why there. But real quick, regarding your Facebook posts, you post quite a bit. Do you have to do that manually, or do you use an automated service?
No, we have a person that's actually in our club that is really likes Facebook, and she's taken to that. So we pay her a very minimal cost, and she does our Facebook, and she does a really nice job with it. She keeps up with it every day. Our average response is about an hour, so she's got about an hour before she responds to every post that's put online. So she's done really well with that. So wow. Our nonprofit that we're using is Parkinson's Network North. I'm actually part of the network, part of the Parkinson's Network. I'm on the board, and we do a program called Rocksteady Boxing. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's for Parkinson's. And we've got one of our instructors is certified in the Rocksteady now. So we're going to be doing that with the Parkinson's. So that's why it was Parkinson's was such a big deal for me. So that's where we're going with that.
So, Vern, my dad has Parkinson's, and he's late stage with it now. He's mid-80s. So, awesome.
Yeah, we're getting really good results with that too. It's a great program. Now we can't turn it around for sure, but we can certainly help the symptoms of Parkinson's, and it's working really well. So I'm pretty proud of that one, and I think that's going to be a good nonprofit for us.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, that's beautiful, and it's exciting to hear. And I mean, you're doing so many things. I mean, as long as I've known you, you've been doing a lot of the right things, you know, and you obviously consistently doing that because it's just tremendous.
We picked up a lot from MPE when we started there, and then we've just continued that. So that's where we got a lot of that stuff. And so when you talk, I hear a lot of this stuff that we've been taught already. So it's good. It's good to reiterate it.
Oh yeah, no, it's the fundamentals, you know. It's like blocking and tackling. Got to drill that all the time. So outstanding. All right. Very good. Very good. Well, I'm glad to hear things are going well. And, we just appreciate having you here on the call with us and sharing what you're doing, because it's helpful for everybody to hear that too. And that's why I want to get everybody to do that. So Mike, let's go to you. So if you've got questions, issues, anything you want to talk about is fine. If not, just give us an update.
Yes, I do have a couple of questions. I can give you an update. I was really sick this week with the flu, so I'm a little bit behind. However, I'm working with one of our clients here. Her mom actually is the founder of this organization called Wiggle Kids, which is for like special needs children and their families. So we're really working on probably making that the charity. I haven't sent the emails out yet. I'm trying to get a little bit more information from her on that. But it's really like it's right down the road from us too, only probably about 4 or 5 miles. And they do a lot of stuff for kids with autism and learning disabilities, as far as being able to get them to, if they have sensory issues and stuff like that. So it's been really good. They work with a lot of the bigger schools around here that deal with that, like Meeting Street, which is a big school as far as helping with children with learning disabilities, severe disabilities that can't be really serviced inside the regular public school system.
Right.
So that's probably where we're heading with our charity. And I think it works really well too, because we're supporting not only a great cause, but also the one of our members as well. Yeah. One of the questions I have is that, so for us, the majority of about 80% of our clientele are athletes. And, while we have several like high level professional and college athletes and stuff, a lot of our athletes are more so in the high school and middle school range, or late middle school, mostly high school age group. And a lot of them are more so on Instagram, as opposed to Facebook. Like what we have, I think we have about 2,800 likes on Facebook. But I think it's a lot more so parents So I'm kind of curious as far as what you think about that. And then I had one other question too, as far as our kind of our wall of fame, because we have one of like the, you know, professional athletes that we've had training here with signed pictures and pictures that are posted up in our conference room where everybody meets for the very first time. Everybody goes through the initial consultations and stuff in there. But we don't have anything for, I mean, so we've had people that have lost a lot of weight, over 100 pounds, but we don't have any walls for that. And I was trying to think of some ideas around structuring it. And I heard you talk about a little while ago, a wall of anybody that's been over 100 pounds there up on the wall, and maybe separating it that way, which kind of made sense to me as setting the characteristics or the criteria for them to be able to be on that wall, really.
Yeah, I hear you. So real quick, I'll give you my 2 cents, and then I'd love to hear what Fred has to say about this, because he trains athletes too, and of course anybody else that wants to chime in. So regarding the Instagram question, the person you should reach out to, who does real well with Instagram, and you might talk things through, is Genesis Reed. He's in the group, Genesis, just like from the Bible.
Reed? Last name is Reed?
Reed, R-E-A-D, yeah. He does a lot on Instagram. He pulls a younger demographic, and so he's been very successful with Instagram. And I think you should, absolutely see where your clients are. However, if your clients are high school age, then it's always going to be the parents, I would imagine, making the buying decision.
Right.
Yeah. So you probably want to be both places, because you know what you're doing right now, because ultimately it's the parents that matter, because they're gonna buy. But if the kids are excited, they're going to influence the parents. So you kind of need to do both. Regarding the excuse me, regarding the question about the Wall of Fame and such, I think one of the things you want to think about is where's your bread being buttered. If you're going to do mixed use, that's fine. I mean, I think you should keep doing whatever is working for you. But if you want to focus on athletic performance and stuff like that versus traditional weight loss, then I'd be all about that, and I'd go all in with that. But if you want to continue with mixed use, then yeah, just divvy it up and give wall space to your athletes and wall space to your traditional, your Gen Pop people. And so I don't really have a much better answer than that. That's just my feedback. Fred, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I think we all have that issue with the evolution of all these different new social media platforms. I mean, at the end of the day, Facebook is going to be the winner, in my opinion. Like you said, that the parents are going to be making the buying decisions. The way that I have attacked sports performance training is through coaches. I try to develop my relationship with the coaches, take them out to eat, I do seminars for them in their classes or on the field, all kinds of stuff, order equipment for them and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, when you get an email and your coach says, I think this is the best thing for you, people are going to buy it. So will the parents. So as far as Instagram, oh man, all of those different things, I don't do Snapchat, but I have integrated, and there's ways to integrate Facebook with Instagram and Twitter. So now any post that I make on any of my pages on Facebook immediately gets posted to my Instagram and my Twitter. And so that's one way to include all three at one time.
Fred, I'm sorry. What do you use to do that?
Each app will allow you to do it. Yeah, you can just go in and connect your accounts. Yeah, if you Google it, it's pretty simple.
Okay, cool.
You just have to give one app permission to do the other one. And so I don't know that Instagram and Twitter will post to Facebook, but I know if you post to Facebook, it'll go the opposite direction, which is
Instagram does post to Facebook.
What's that?
Instagram does post to Facebook.
Yeah, so I think if you integrate, you want to use one or the other, you can get them to cross post. I think that's probably there's also Zaps that you can use. There's also If Then and That. You can use that as an app too and build little different things. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't heard of that, no.
Yeah, look it up. It's an acronym. It's IFTTT. And it's crazy. It's like an app math equation. So like,
Sweet.
This then that app you're talking about?
yeah, it's like, it's kind of wild, but it has some good potential use. You just got to study what you want to do and try to figure out how to make it work.
Sweet.
Yes, because I mean, I still think Facebook is the winner, but I do like to have my tweets and stuff like that on a regular basis because I do have, X amount of Twitter followers that aren't on Facebook, and same thing with Instagram. So try to cross it that way.
Yeah. Anybody else got any feedback, thoughts on those things, Instagram, Facebook, or Wall of Fame, stuff like that?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Something that I have run into, I don't know whether it's good or bad, but so my personal Facebook page and the way that I have everybody checking in, my personal Facebook page is just like, I mean, it's completely out of control with the number of Facebook check-ins. And so any of my other posts are just getting immediately lost. So like if I post something, if I go back within an hour, it's already gone. You'd have to scroll down my Facebook like for 5 or 10 minutes to try to get to it. So I've noticed that if you post on your business page, unless you boost it or run an ad, it doesn't get shown to anybody. It'll have like 37 views or something ridiculous. So in my personal page, I have a community group as well. My personal page gets the most, but like if I post a video with a call to action, within an hour, it's already out, gone, and you would have to scroll down to find it. So
let me ask you a question about that though, Fred. You're referring to your timeline, not your home, your Facebook homepage, because right? I mean, am I right about that? Because your timeline, yes. So you're not just getting pushed down by your stuff, but by everybody else who your friends.
Yes. So, I'll post a video, and I typically average, 1,000 to 2,000 views. And now they're dropping to like 200 or 300 because they're just getting pushed out so quick. And so, however, the Facebook check-ins is incredible. So, it's like everybody I talk to says every time I put on Facebook, all I see is your gym. So it's good, but some of my other marketing material is getting pushed out. So I'm wondering if I need to take some of those posts and just boost them.
Well, let me jump in real quick, if you don't mind. I somewhere in the TRC newsletter component, I make this very statement and argument that organic reach in Facebook they call it Facebook zero. And it's had a precipitous fall in terms of organic search.
Definitely.
And how everything now, if you want attention, you're going to be paying for it. That's just the way Facebook is now set up, much like Google AdWords. So if you want to be seen, it's going to cost.
Yeah, I think that's what I figured out. And I've kind of noticed too, some of the top name guys who have like just out of control Facebook pages with thousands and thousands of members, they boost like just like a regular Facebook post, they boost it, like just a comment or something. And I'm noticing that I'll get 400 or 500 likes, and 3,000 or 4,000 people reach. So I guess that is where we are now. I'm just letting people know that with the feed being cluttered with a lot of different things, and they're basically, like you said, zero organic reach, it's going to cost now. We're going to have to start. I mean, you can boost an ad pretty cheap, but a post pretty cheap. But I just found that interesting.
It is interesting, and it's the genius of Mark Zuckerberg. He's got us all hooked like addicts, and now he's starting to raise the price on the goods. It's crazy, but I think it's certainly worth testing, and I think that's the answer, is just to start boosting your posts, as you said, for a little while and see if your views and engagement goes back up on those things.
Yeah, that's what I did the last time. I posted a video and I boosted it for like $20 for a week, and it was back to if I trust what Facebook is telling me, it was back to like 250 likes and like 2,000 or 3,000 views. And so, you know, for $20, I guess you're just going to have to do it. It's just like I said, you said it, it's getting expensive between all my lead magnets, all my, you know, everything that I got, all my ads running and stuff like that. It's just it's the fine balance.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. You got to find the balance. And that's why to sustain a business your size, you know, Fred's business is probably, what do you got? 400, 450 active?
We have, right now, we probably have about 380 active members. And then we do team training, but I don't ever count my athletes because they're seasonal. But the only time that I don't have athletes training is like February to April, which is like right now. But from April until next January, we'll keep about 150 athletes too. So yeah, my advertising budget is intense.
Yeah. That's right. You're got to dial in those numbers, really watch those numbers closely. But what the point that I was going to make, and Vern, I'm sure you run into this as well, because you're doing high volume business, is that the bigger it gets, the more leads you got to generate. And so, you know, you just, and that becomes a significant cost involved if you're relying specifically on advertising. And so that's one of the reasons why we're going to push hard to get everybody involved in the partner side of the local by referral side of the referral challenge, because I firmly believe that is the solution to this. And that's, you know, getting all your partners sending you their customers and their prospects and doing it for free, you know, and that's the way to generate a significant number. Not to say that you'd stop advertising, but this is the answer, I think, to if you want to continue to grow.
I got as far as what Fred was saying, can't you monitor your check-ins without even having them tag your personal Facebook page just through your business page? Because we've had people check in before, and I can still see our check-ins on our business page and run the report through just the same way that you guys said, through going notifications and then check-ins without having it without being tagged my personal Facebook page in there.
Yeah. So my understanding is that, and I think what Fred is referring to is that he has all his clients tag him when they check in. And so the reason that we've encouraged you to do that is because we've found that that's the only way to get accurate accounting. That way the check-in actually shows up on your personal page, and you can scroll through it, not your timeline, because that would take forever, but your personal page. I forget what that's called. News feed. No, it's not. That's the timeline. But you know, so you can just scroll through and count the check-ins, so you know how many you got for the day. That's the reason why there's that tagging, why it's showing up in his personal news.
But I'm thinking that if it shows up on your business page, if your admin just goes onto your business page, they can run that report just through the business page, and it wouldn't affect his personal page as far as all of his.
I don't remember specifically, but for some reason that's not accurate. It doesn't work properly.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to go back and check it out and look, but there's some reason why that way does not work, but I don't remember what it is specifically.
Yeah. That's what we found when we first launched this. People were having trouble; they were struggling getting an accurate count, and so what you might want to try, Mike, is try doing it just without having to have you personally tagged, and see what happens. But just do it for a couple of days and watch it. You're going to have to really be eagle-eyed about it to watch these things, because you might know that you had 20 clients come in who checked in that day, and you need to have some sort of accounting. If you have somebody at your front desk, for instance, every time somebody comes in and they're checking in, you just make a mark so you've got roughly 20 for the day. At the end of the day, see if you got 20 that you can count on your Facebook business page.
All right, awesome, yeah.
But it might not be that. That might not happen. So you just got to keep an eye on it. Fred, something else. What about if you were to have them, rather than tagging you, have them tag your wife? She works with you, right? Or
I was just thinking about that. That's a good idea. It is. It's a good idea.
Yeah. All right.
Well, one other suggestion, Fred, that you might have, I think Facebook now allows you to have up to 1 or 2 changes to your Facebook name. You might just want to start a new Facebook for your personal and keep that one and change the name of it to, you know, Fred's check-in page or something, right?
That's a good idea too.
Yeah, that might be a sweet workaround right there. Make a note of that, Aaron. I'm going to make a note too. We got to definitely look into that.
Dude, you just came up with that, man. Beast.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the mastermind, brother.
I know, man. I think that's the best workaround right there. You can make that happen in minutes.
Yeah, no.
Cool. Definitely.
All right, good. Let's, so Mike, are you, anything else? Did we address those issues? You still need clarity on the wall or what, how you, where you stand?
No, I think, because that's what we've done. Maybe we'll keep for the general pop wall. We probably keep it with the people that have 100+ pounds. I don't know. I'm kind of up in the, I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah. What percentage of your business is Gen Pop versus athlete?
A little under 20%.
Yeah. Okay.
We have 100, we're just shy of 150 clients, and just shy of 20% are adults. But we're trying to grow that population right now.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I'm thinking about how the benefits of seeing more of those on the wall when they come in as well. That would allow us to grow the adult pop as well.
Yeah.
Most of your athletes, high school, collegiate?
Mostly high school, but we have several. We have a good number of college and even professionals that come through here as well.
And how are you getting a hold of your high school athletes currently? What's been your strategy to get a hold of them?
So I'm also the strength coach for an NECBL baseball team out here, the New Bedford Bay Sox, which is kind of like a Cape Cod League team. It's
nice.
Top guys from across the country come and play, which has been good. So I've gotten a lot of speaking opportunities. So I work with a lot of local AAU programs and different high schools where I've had the opportunity to go and speak. And that's really where I get the majority of them from. And then it comes from word of mouth, really. So we do really well with referrals right now. And I know that's why I really wanted to do this program, because I know we don't even really have a structured system in place that we even promote doing referrals. So I know that if we get this locked down and going, that we'll get even more. But what's happened in the process too is because of really doing so well with the adult pop, with the athletic population, it's kind of, we become known as the sports performance. You know what I mean? So some matter of fact, we just had a couple women sign up in here, and they said, "Oh, I thought that all you guys did here was sports performance." So that's been something that we kind of have to take a look at and see what we kind of want to do with that, because we have had people lose over 100 pounds as well.
Yeah. What about have you or do you currently offer like some sort of deal, some sort of family deal? Like if you bring an athlete in, you say, "Hey, mom and dad, you guys can join too. We'll give you a package deal."
We don't really hit upon that in the consultation and everything, but that is definitely something we should do. We do give a discount. We usually give it's usually roughly, depending on what it is, depending on the program they're doing, but it's roughly around 20%.
Here's another thought just off the top of my head, Mike. This goes for everybody for that matter. But, if you've got, a handful, 5, 7, 10, 15 people who have lost, a significant amount of weight, if you were to talk to that individual, that one-on-one, this is a one-on-one strategy for sure, but it'll have mass reach. You get them to do a Facebook Live video on their phone to their feed in your facility, testifying that they've lost 100 pounds in your facility. It goes out to all their feed.
That's actually really good, yeah.
Yeah. There's so much you can do with that Facebook Live, man. We're just starting to scratch. I mean, we haven't really implemented, but we're just seeing people start to scratch the surface with all the different applications on that thing. But it's apparently very powerful, and Facebook gives it priority from what I'm hearing. So, yeah, that's a great idea, Aaron.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, very good. Well, let's keep moving then. Tom, so hit us with any questions, concerns you have, issues you're dealing with, or if not, just give us an update.
Great. So far, so good. We're a little bit behind you guys. We started off a little after your program launched, so we're still a little bit in catch up. Right now, we're doing a vote amongst our active clients for which charity. And so we've been doing an actual vote in the office when they come in, and then we're also doing a Facebook push that started yesterday. And so hopefully there's 3 of them. Hopefully we'll have that nailed down by next week and be able to move forward and do an official connection. People seem pretty excited about it. I've explained what's going on to the staff, and they're in it. So, I mean, like, you know, because right now we're sort of heavily relying on Groupon as our major lead generator, and it's just, we don't want to live that way. Yeah. So it's really about finding new avenues for us. So, like, all of this stuff has been really great ways to explore. Our Facebook page is fairly active, although we also are discovering how much more benefit there is to boost things, because we actually get a lot of people who are out of state liking our stuff, which is kind of nice. But all that reach stuff is absolutely true. You have to pay to boost everything, and it's all good. It's like $5, you know, it's no big deal. But I feel that. So that's kind of where we are. We're in, like I said, we're a little bit behind you guys, but so far, you know, I'm loving hearing the stories. It makes me happy to see that it works. And like I say, our goal is to get out of just having Groupon be our thing.
Yeah.
We have, so update. We have, I don't know what our active client roster is. I'm not the numbers guy, but I know we have over 120 regular members that are just have memberships, recurring monthly memberships, and then we have an active client base that's, you know, I mean, over 1,000 at least. I honestly, I really don't know. Our Facebook page, I know we have like about 1,500, which is kind of light, but it's most of our clients. Our clients, it feels like they're on our side. You know what I mean? Like we offer a very unique service, and we get a lot of great feedback on it. And our feedback is really strong. That's one of the big things we use to push right now. You know, all of the stuff we've been getting on all of the feedback pages, like not just the Groupon, but like, you know, they also do Facebook reviews, and we get the reviews on Yelp and all that kind of stuff. And that's been really, really good for us.
Yeah.
And surprising, because I always thought Yelp was a place people went to bitch. And so it's kind of nice to like, oh, okay, cool. They actually say nice things there. And that's been really helpful.
Well, that's good. People do go to Yelp to bitch a lot, and that's why. But obviously, you guys are doing some things right, because actually, South Park did an absolutely hilarious bit on yeah. So, but one of the things about reviews is that you've got to monitor them, whether they're on Yelp or Google or Facebook. You got to monitor, because if something bad comes in, you got to handle that thing ASAP.
You know, our good news is that our bad reviews have mostly been things like there's no parking. You know what I mean? It hasn't been necessarily about the service. It's been about like the elevators or something like that. You know, so I mean that's been good.
Yeah.
But saying that means that I'm going to get one today. You know?
Yeah, you got good karma, brother. Hey, let me ask you, Tom. Tell people what it is that you do, because you have a unique type of business.
Yeah, we do. We do partner-assisted stretch therapy. Basically, a client comes into us, and they can either book a half hour or an hour. And what we do is we find out what hurts, and we go through. We use several different methodologies for stretching. Active isolated stretching, which is a really big one, which is a therapeutic tool. And we also use FST, which is fascial stretch therapy, which is more of a joint releaser kind of thing. And we literally work through different protocols to a person's body, and then when they're feeling good, we take their money. It works out.
Yeah. So it's not actually a workout. It's all
stretching. It's all stretching. Yeah. I mean, it really that's what's amazing about it. Most people have never experienced a modality like it or done anything like it. And I sort of say that it's like, it falls into a really interesting combination of massage therapy, chiropractic, you know, physical therapy. It's all of those things. I mean, it's fascinating. And, you know, the hardest part about it is because it's a new modality, there's nothing else to say it's like this. And it is really hard to say what it is like. It's easy to say what it's not. It's not massage therapy. It's not torture. But it's really difficult to say, this is what's going to happen. We're going to tie you to a table and yank on your leg. Do you know what I mean? And it's really, because of its newness, that's been our most difficult challenge, or our most interesting challenge, has been how to get the word out to people that it exists, that it doesn't hurt, and that it's really good for you.
Well, I'll tell you what you need to do, and that's demonstration. You need demonstration.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're doing the local morning news this week, and we're doing a 4-minute segment with them. And those kind of things are really always fun to do. And you never have enough time, but they're fun to do. So that'll work on. We've also had a piece, believe it or not, on CNN.
Awesome. Yeah.
Which run constantly, because it's fun to say as seen on CNN.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. Well, and you guys, you don't have to wait for the media to come. You can create your own.
I found out that the morning news was pay for play. I had no idea. Like, I really didn't know. I really thought it was something like, hey, we heard you have this really cool thing. Would you like to be on the news? But it's like, hey, I've got this cool thing. And they're like, yeah, pay us $1,000 and we'll give you 2 minutes on Thursday. Do you know what I mean? It's at least maybe that's just DC where everything's cynical. But that's kind of how it is. And that's great. I'm happy to do it. Because like I say, no one knows what we are right now.
Yeah. But keep in mind that and what you're saying is absolutely true. Almost every media now, if you want coverage, the first thing they're going to do is try and sell you advertising. Because their revenue's in the toilet for the most part, because there's so much competition. But what I'm suggesting you guys do is become your own media company. Start pushing out demonstration type videos, because with fitness related stuff, there's so much of it out there. People understand intuitively. It still is absolutely worth demonstrating. But with yours, it's very unique, as you said, and you have difficulty.
Talking earlier about Facebook Live, and we have really taken it. We've taken, not as much lately. We were a few weeks ago really being on Facebook Live all the time. And it really does work. It's just about getting the client to be like, hey, we're going to film you. Is that cool?
Yeah. Well, you can work. There's ways to help it. But
most are good humored about it.
Yeah. And if you can't get the clients, get your wives or friends or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And because they have to do it. All right.
No, good thinking. Thank you. So we're trying to catch up to you guys. So I'm hopefully be closer next week. And like I said, everything is good. I'm really appreciating this. It's a great learning opportunity, and it's been great so far.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you in the group. Aaron and I met Ben down in Houston last year, so we know your partner.
Yeah.
Now it's good to know you.
No, he's the brains. I'm the brawn.
All right. He's pretty brawny too, though, man.
He's huge. He's huge. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, Fred, let's get to you. Any specific questions? Anything we can help you with?
I think I'm pretty much up to date. I really like the storytelling videos. I'm actually going to use those videos to train my staff, because we do a lot of storytelling in our training sessions, and I'm trying to teach them how to write, make Facebook posts, different things. I mean, we had talked about this before. People have different business models, but for me, sales is for everybody. And so I don't have coaches that just show up, clock in, do a training session, and leave. They need to be known by the community. They have to have a standard they have to uphold. So I want them making videos and Facebook posts and doing different things. But then, of course, I have to check everything and make sure, it's up to par. But not everybody can tell those stories like that. And so you are right. I think that resource is probably worth more than $500 if it's used properly. And so, it's super exciting. It's an incredible skill. It's a marketing genius. And there's, so much more you can say about it. I'm kind of in a crossroads / valley with my business. I made some major changes in February. Of course, that never goes over too well. So I lost a decent amount of clientele with that. And it's going to be better in the long run, So it's kind of like I'm doing a little bit of a purge. So it's fine. It'll work out, it's gonna, it's gonna dip and then it'll come back up. But
as long as your margins are there, that's the key, is watch those margins, because then it really doesn't, it's not, overhead is static for the most part, depending on certain things. But if your margins are fat, you can absorb shrink. If you shrink, your clientele shrinks, you can absorb that because the margins are still there. You've still got the profit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of shocking when you own the place to see your numbers go down a little bit. I've had very consistently pretty high numbers for a while, and so it'll be fine though. It was a necessary thing that had to take place, and I can absorb a lick for a little while, and for the benefit in the long run. The only thing that I really did not have in place is I'm just using most of your copywriting and stuff like that for everything. But I did a reactivation campaign. Those don't seem to do too well for me. My clients stay for a very long time. So, the list that I have to use for reactivation is very small. So I guess that's kind of good. But we did reactivate like 7 or 8 people, and all I sent out was 3 emails. Kind of mirrored them off the ones that y'all wrote up. So, I think that besides right now, when people are upset with me about my changes, the majority of my people leave because they've been here for a very long time and they just take a break, I guess. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. But I'm excited about doing the local by referral. That's going to work out well for me.
Yeah, and the new referral challenge campaign that Aaron and I are working on, that we're coming out with, which is integrated somewhat with local by referral. These will be big things for you, for Vern, for anybody who has a significant membership and needs a lot of leads, and it'll obviously help everybody else. But I mean, you guys in particular, because you need a serious lead flow in order to maintain a high level of clients. Fred, are you comfortable? And I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I'm just curious because you alluded to it twice. Are you comfortable talking about what changes you made?
Oh yeah. So basically what I had was, besides private, semi-private training, I had 2 group programs. One was a smaller group, 10 people or less, and one is a large group, which I really didn't limit at all. So the problem I had was that the small group people, it was getting too big to be called small group anymore. And because it came, the people that were in there came from like years ago, they were kind of grandfathered in with the price. As I started working with Camellia, she said, you know what, you're really not taking in enough money to operate that small group. Like, it's not working for you. And I knew it, but I didn't know how to get myself out of it, because I had made commitments to people. And so basically what we decided was, instead of having a large group lower price and a small group higher price, I met in the middle. And so integrated all the classes. Well, man, it was a firestorm of I learned a lot of stuff. So for instance, some people they don't want to do semi-private. They really like that middle of the road small group. And so, but the reality is I made mistakes in the past where I undercharged. And so whether they liked it or not, I had to do away with it. Yeah. Or pack more people into the class. And as I told you earlier, I didn't understand my numbers well enough to realize that. I just knew that it was like, man, it's just not working. I don't think it's working. And of course, once I plugged everything in, I realized, yeah, it's definitely not working for that. And so they were mad. Now, the biggest problem that I had, and I asked a ton of people, you might be able to give me some feedback on this, was those members were paying between $159 and $179 a month for unlimited small group training. The people below them are paying about $99 or $199 for unlimited large group training. So when I changed the price to the middle, which was $139, I reduced all my small groupers to $139. Well, they're all mad because they think that they should be paying what everyone else is paying, which is the lowest price. And I definitively told them that I'm not reducing anybody. I'm not reducing them back to the large group price. This is just the way it is. Because those members they're grandfathered in basically, right? And so like I told Camille, I couldn't raise them up because I have already did one price increase on them, and I committed that if they stayed with me, as long as they stayed, they got to keep that price. So that was where I lost a pretty good bit of members.
Because they felt like you reneged on your promise? Is that what you're saying?
No, they say that it's not fair that I'm paying $139, somebody else is paying $109, and we're getting the same thing.
I see.
Did you have did they just bail, or did they actually come to you and have a discussion before bailing, or did they just not show up?
A couple of people, more people just bailed than they, some people came and talked to me and I explained. And so here's the thing. So when I did a price increase way back when on the small group, I didn't raise all of them up and they were okay with that. But now that they're not being reduced to a lower price, they're mad. And I said, that's really what's unfair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically what happened now happened to them earlier, but they got the good side of it. Now they feel like they're getting the bad side of it.
All right.
My thing is like, you're getting the exact same thing. You may have 1 or 2 or 3 more people in your class. That's it. You were happy paying $179. Why are you not happy paying $40 less per month? And I just said, you know what? I really need to be charging this much or more for everybody. I'm not going to break my commitment to my other members. And so I'm not changing my stance on this. This is just the way it is. So I lost a pretty good bit of members for that. I lost about 30 or 40 people from that.
How was that price change addressed with the people? How did they find out about it?
A letter and email. And I gave them about 10 days of warning. Maybe I should have gave them longer. That was some of the feedback that I've gotten. Yeah.
So it's delicate. It's a delicate issue, and people are funny. Most people are funny.
I am quite shocked. I'm usually more the generous type, but man, I have been ridiculed, criticized. I mean, Facebook posts, all kinds of stuff. I had my faith questioned. Called names, all kinds of different things. And I'm like, wow, no one paid any more money. Everybody saved money. The only thing I did was converge the two. It's amazing. And so I just prayed about it a lot. I said, you know what? Those are people that I really don't want here anyway. If they don't see the value of what we do.
Right.
And I'll be honest, in my mind, we provide more value than, it's just amazing at what people get, and they don't even understand, and I just have to keep in mind, I think I'm worth this much money, and that's just the way it's going to be. So there's going to be a dip, but we're still taking in new people, and they're paying that price with no problem. So.
Right. And that's the attitude that you just got to maintain, because you're right. It's tough. And particularly when people question your integrity or your faith, or just,
man, it's been my wife's been attacked in classes and all kinds of stuff. And
that's terrible. But I think the lesson here, just from what I've heard, and I'm not saying this is going to suddenly change everything, but is just the way that it's communicated potentially. I would look at that first. I would review that letter and look at how in the future, if you need to do this, and it's likely that you might need to change again, how you could adapt and improve upon the way that was communicated. But that's just part of it. There's clearly more to it than that. But back in MPE days, we used to, and Vern, you might have used this. We did a raising the rates campaign, and it was our build your own packages campaign, things like that. But the raise your rates, when we first launched that, I wrote that campaign, and a guy named Pete Perano, who at the time, Aaron knows him, was one of the second only to Aaron in terms of size of his Fitness Together number of franchises and everything. He was a big time player in Fitness Together. He mailed, I think he had 300 or 400 active clients at the time, and these were one-on-one clients. And he mailed his Raising the Rates letter to his entire clientele. And he lost something like I want to say 20% of his client base, but he made $140,000 in 2 months, in 60 days, because people, he gave them an opportunity to lock in a certain rate, for ongoing. So there was some technical things to it. So the point is, he lost 20%, but those are the folks who didn't really value the service, as you just addressed, to the degree that they needed to. He ended up making money on top of it, and then he quickly recovered. He quickly added a bunch of new clients and got back to where he was more profitable. All in all, what I'm getting at is it was a very, very positive thing for his business. And I've heard that story over and over again from people who've done that. They lose people, it drops down, it hurts, but then boom, they climb back up and they're much more profitable going forward. I think the same thing's going to happen with you.
Yeah, I think so too. I did have one question. So I sent out a survey it's been a month now, and just was asking my members what they think about the changes, because I made some schedule changes too, which that's not that big of a deal. And I probably had 110 people respond back. And now out of my 360 members, there's a good bit of teenagers and children, so they wouldn't respond back. But interestingly enough, no one commented about the cost, which I thought was very weird. It was like, I guess the people that got mad just weren't happy anyway, and it was a reason for them to leave. But all of my members that I hear never said anything about the price change, which I found very odd. So it was like it happened, it was really bad, and now it's already, they didn't mention it. But what I do have, I still have probably 20 or 30 members that are interested in a pricing option between semi-private and large group. And I put on there, I made it very clear that it would be premium pricing because it just has to. That's the way it works. And they said they were interested. Do you think I should bring that back and make that like a middle exclusivity?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough call. I'd love to hear feedback from anybody else on here, because you guys, I'll tell you who's better at answering that question are people that are in the trenches who are, doing it. I could give you my opinion on it, but it's hard to say, and I don't want to, influence you one way or the other. Vern, any thoughts on that?
No, I don't. Not really. I don't have any thoughts on that. That's pretty tough.
Yeah. Keith, what about you? Any thoughts?
Well, the one thing I was going to say, Fred, is I really sympathize with you, because I went through something very similar. It's been a few years ago now, but I had to let 2 trainers go who actually had the bulk of the clients here at the time, and they badmouthed me and turned the clients against me. It was a total upheaval, and a lot of people are questioning my integrity, which hurts. It definitely hurts. But I will say this: I let that go and turn around, and I think the next year I doubled my business. I think a lot of it was because I got rid of some real negative, bad stuff, and probably not just the trainers, but some members too, who were probably just didn't need to be here.
Yeah.
And, I will say too, people are coming to me all the time saying, oh, why don't you offer this? Why don't you do that? It's your business, Fred. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you need to run it the way you think is best, I mean, I have people want a dance class and they want a pole dancing class, they want this, and they want that. And I've fallen into that trap where trying to offer everything they wanted, and you end up with you're paying a trainer to back there to run some kind of class, and there's nobody in it, even though 20 people told you they said they would do it if you started. So
yeah,
I think you got to pray on it, listen to your heart, do what you think best, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. And let me just add one other thing, and that's the classic marketing test. And if you're not sure, or you just want to find out, about that different price point, different category that you were discussing, just reach out to, pick a segment of your clientele or your prospects, whatever, who you think would be most inclined to purchase something like that based on what you know about it. If you're not sure, then fine, just pick a group. and just go out to them and say, listen, here's what I'm considering doing. I'm thinking about adding this, and here's what it would entail, and here's what it would cost. And this is really just a test. I want to see if folks have an interest in this type of service at this price point. And if so, let me know. And we'd love to, get you engaged, or if you just want more information, respond to me and just see what kind of feedback you get.
Yeah, that was the plan. I think that there's that 15 or 20 people is probably that same exact group that they didn't really complain. They just said, hey, we like the smaller group option, with a little bit more exclusivity. So I don't want to flip-flop changes and all like that all kind of really quick either. So
Right. And
so, because I do know that, in 6 weeks from now, everybody's going to forget, so, and I think it'll be all fine. Because I think the reality is they're getting the same exact thing they were getting. They just may have a few more people in the class, which I was having trouble controlling the size of the small groups anyway, because everybody was trying to come on the same hour. And so when I limited it by check-ins, then they all got mad again and said they didn't care. And I was like, well, then it's not a small group anymore, So it was like lose-lose. That's why I kind of did away with it. Yeah. So part of that's me being too much of a people pleaser.
I hear you. And I was just going to make that point is that, people who are naturally good-hearted people and, want everybody to be very happy with what they do. And I'm that way. But I'll tell you what, number one, we are the type of people who tend to deliver the best value, bar none, because we fucking care. The other thing is that we do sometimes get walked on. And that, and so you've got to, you've got to stand your ground, what you're doing. And here's the secret. Ultimately, this is the secret. It's that you sell better and you raise prices and you make sure that your margins are fat. That's the biggest lesson I've taken away from my years in business is that margin is the sexiest word in business. It is everything, because if you don't have that, bad stuff can happen. Now look, I'm talking like a trash mouth, but you know what I'm saying? It's you got to watch those numbers. You got to watch those margins. Set your prices high. The value's there. Aaron and I were just talking about this the other day. When we roll out this campaign that's coming out next, the next time we launch the referral challenge, it will easily go up probably to $797, maybe to $997. We're going to discuss it. And we're not coming down. It will not come down. That's where it's going to be, because it's worth every damn penny and more. And so we're just going to stick with it, and we'll sell fewer of them, but we'll have, continue to get great people in here that we like, and the margins will be there to support our ongoing growth.
There you go. I sat around and thought about it, and I was like, I looked at everything that we do for our clients, the condition that my facility's in, there's a laundry list of stuff that we provide for our clients for member retention, like 15, 18 things, different ways they can get discounts, loyalty points. Just like an incredible amount of value. And I just told people, hey, man, like, I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. You know how I am, but if you don't see the value and this is not for you, then that's okay. That's fine, because there are plenty of other people that do see the value. And I just did not bend.
Yeah.
I just refused.
Yeah, good. It's all going to work its way out. And good. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I think that was helpful for everybody to hear, and it's good for you to get it off your chest. Yeah. So
before you leave, Fred, though, let me ask you a couple of questions. Before I even ask, let me give you an Eric Ruthism from about 100 years ago when he first entered my life, right? And the truism I never forgot was, people will forget your story because they have their own. You have to constantly retell your story, right? But it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so in the process of this change, how long ago did this transition take place? Is it just this last week, or how long ago?
No, it's been a little less than 30 days.
Okay. So here's the question I have for you to close out this segment. Is there a way to, again, going back to telling your story and how you tell it, is there a way to tell this story that is the small group price increase story that feels like a benefit to everybody versus a punishment or an oops moment, right? Well, the answer is there is. There always is, right? And as marketers, that's what we do. We sometimes in the world of politics, you have a guy out there that's the cleaner. They're up there cleaning the reputation. Well, we don't really thrive in that environment, but we've done that environment. So if you need help on that going forward, Fred, let us know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Keith, you're up next. Any questions, issues, and if not, give us an update.
No real questions today. I was actually, after our last call, I went out of town for several days, so now it's just kind of catching up, although, with the original group, we don't have a whole lot coming out right now, although I'm curious to see the campaign. I mean, my main thing, you guys, this referral thing is amazing. I mean, you guys are doing such an awesome job with it. So anybody on the call who's in the 2.1, I mean, my gosh, just look out. It's crazy. So, matter of fact, I've got
thank you for saying
I'm in and out apparently, but I was going to say I've got yeah, man. I was going to say I have a internship program at a local college. I'm about to get an intern on board, so hopefully she'll help me with a lot more implementation of some of this stuff too. So that's kind of what's going on with me, just getting caught up from being out of town.
All right, very good. And yeah, it has been a little slow on the 2.0 side because of the bog down and with the local by referral stuff, but that's almost done now. So did you get your page, Keith?
Yes.
You did. You got my
email?
Did. Yeah. Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's good. And I know you've been ready to rock and roll with that for weeks now. So as soon as we get that funnel done, you'll be off to the races with that. And
sweet. Looking forward to it.
Keith, one other thing. Your daughters aren't in the room today, are they? Keith?
No.
Okay, good. Because I didn't even think about that until after I unleashed that F-bomb. I looked over and I saw you, and I was like, oh, no, I hope Keith's daughters aren't there today. Yeah. All right, I'm glad.
I can tell you this. I've wanted to cuss a lot in the last 2 weeks. Especially having, I find that, I'll just get this off my chest. I know y'all have to go. I find that, when you are in a community, you are a faithful guy, you give a lot, people will try to take advantage of you. And the first thing, when someone's mad at you, the first thing they criticize is my faith. So I've gotten a bunch of, how can you call yourself a Christian man and X? And I'm like, really? All I did was reduce my prices and integrate my groups. That's all I did.
Yeah. Because they know, I think that people that do it, they know that's going to hurt you the most. They by saying something like that, and it's just cruel. It's cruel and uncalled for. It's total bullshit. And those are the type of people I just want to punch in the nose. I just don't have, and that's why I couldn't do what you guys do. I don't have the patience anymore. When I was younger, maybe, but nowadays, I was talking to Camille about it the other day. She's like, "Why do you get up so tight about this stuff?" I don't suffer fools. I can't take it. I'm good and kind, but I can't take it. So power to you for riding through this, and it's just going to make you better and stronger, and you know that.
So, Fred, let me jump in again. Look, we all have those kinds of horror stories. If you've ever owned a fitness facility for any length of time, you're going to run into those kind of things. I won't take the time to share the many in our mine and forest world, but Forrest called me one time just, to tell me how his faith had been questioned because of some decisions he made. And the only piece of advice I could say is, hey, the righteous will be persecuted. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Right? So, don't just count it all joy, buddy. Count it all joy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're doing the right thing. I mean, because you're focusing on the numbers. Because the bottom line is, you got an entire tribe of your own that you got to feed. So you got to make sure those numbers are solid, brother.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, but and all right, good. Well, hey, listen, Justin had posted, and he said he's good. Oh, so he just posted something to you, Fred. So Justin, if you want to come on and talk, you're welcome. I don't know if you wanted to or not, but if you do, please do.
I would. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Fred, I sympathize with you because I had something similar happen when we moved locations. One of at our old facility before we expanded, our landlord was big in referrals for us and growing our morning population, which is our adult population. And when we ended up moving, they ended up kind of doing the same type of thing, and everybody bailed on us and said all these negative things. But I think what Aaron kind of hit on was really big. And you said it yourself when you were talking, saying that all you did was lower their rates for pretty much the same service. I wonder if there's a way that you almost sell them again on the fact that that they're getting the same thing, they're getting the same results, they're getting all these things, and at the end of the year, it's saving them $500. So you're actually doing them a service, not a disservice, by lowering their rates, kind of thing. I wonder if there's a way to twist that story into a more of a sales type thing and sell them on the fact that it's actually you're doing them a service and not a disservice kind of thing. So where they think like, oh, gee, they're getting rid of this on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's something to consider. Just don't those people who ever said anything bad about you, man.
Oh yeah, definitely want to bring them.
Yeah.
Definitely not them.
Yeah. 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 But that's a good idea. And the other thing is just, as you said, Fred, just acting, just moving on, and complete with your attitude and not letting them know that any of it got to you. We can talk forever about this stuff, but I know it hurts. I know we can all relate. I think everybody on this call can relate.
Well, let me just say this, Fred. If you want the ultimate revenge, do a reactivation campaign to those people who have left here in about 3 or 4 weeks and see how many you can get back. And I'll bet you'll get you. Because by the time they go out, they either have gotten lazy or they've become deconditioned, or they're dissatisfied someplace else. They'll come to realize what they left.
I truly believe that.
Yeah, and that's this is the way I felt. Now I said let it go, but now I'm going to belabor it again. When I sold MPE, after that, I found out a lot of things about Sean that I didn't know, and it started with Camellia, because when Camellia and I started dating after I'd sold MPE, that he basically threatened her job. She was still working there because she started dating me. I thought I'd considered him for years to be one of my best friends, and this is how he turned on me like that. And so it's just, it was absolutely stunning and amazing to me how strange people are. And so how sometimes you think you know somebody and you didn't know them at all. It's crazy. But as Camellia kept telling me, she goes, success is the sweetest revenge, just moving on, letting it all go and getting on with your life and kicking ass like you usually do.
Keep it going. Yep.
Yeah, she's right.
All right, my man, I have to leave too. Thank y'all very much for all your input and support. I really appreciate it. Awesome call.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks for being here. Tom, Mike, anything else we can help you guys with before we wrap up?
No, appreciate everything you've given so far, and it was good to listen in on the call and participate a little bit. Like I say, we're playing a little bit of catch up, but I feel like we're getting our heads wrapped around it, and it's all good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I agree. I appreciate it, and I feel pretty good right now. But I'm going to try and be on the call on Monday, and if anything comes up in the meantime, I'll put it in the Facebook group.
Yeah, sounds good. And glad to hear you're over the flu. I know that's a beast.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for making the time today, and we'll see you on Facebook.